WalterRoss, jamming for Jesus. WalterRoss, jamming for Jesus. WalterRoss, jamming for Jesus. WalterRoss, jamming for Jesus. WalterRoss, 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 jamming for Jesus. Jamming for Jesus.
Well, greetings, folks. This is Walter Jamming for Jesus Ross coming at you. Some of you remember me when I was on the air in New Orleans at that radio station. I don't want to call the call letters, but it had a Y in it. Yeah, that's where we started the Jamming for Jesus show. And it just went all over the South, all over the South. And I just want to say thank you to all of the wonderful people who supported that show and made my name, WalterRoss, a household name in and around the city of New Orleans. But now we're doing another broadcast. It's called Let's Bring It On Gospel. Yes, indeed. I love the name. I love the sound of it. Let's Bring It On Gospel. In fact, do me a favor. Look at the person sitting next to you and say, let's bring it on gospel. Oh, yeah. You all follow directions pretty good. All right. But we've got a lot going on today. First of all, June 19th is a special day. It's two things that we got to celebrate. Number one, we got to celebrate our forefathers being free. It's called Juneteenth. It happened on June 19th in the year 1865. Our forefathers had been laboring in this country for nearly 300 years as slaves. Oh my God. And June 19th, 1865, it was all over. So this is a special holiday. The United States of America has adopted Juneteenth as a national holiday. It was a holiday in certain states, but now it's a recognized holiday all over this country in all 50 states. So I would just want to say, we came from a long way. When you think about all of our brothers and sisters and grandmamas and grandpapas, all what they did to build this country and had no financial compensation, none whatsoever. But anyway, we're going to talk about that a little more. But also on June 19th, it's Father's Day. And I want to say happy Father's Day to every father under the sound of my voice. You got to ask yourself, what would a family be without a father? Oh, it's a whole lot of slipping and sliding, hitting and missing. The father plays a very significant role in the family. And if there's a house without a father, hey, let me tell you, the families where a father is absent runs into a whole lot difficulty than the ones that do have fathers. And before we get started, I got to pay homage where got to give credit where credit is due. Elder Dave Ross, who's no longer in the land of the living, that was my father. He played guitar, harmonica, violin. He was a very, very astute musician. And he was also blind. Can you believe that? And when I say he was blind, he didn't have just a slight visual impairment. No, he was totally blind. so blind, you could put your hand in front of his face. He could not see it. He was totally blind. But he took care of all 5 of his children. I was the baby. They used to call me Geneva's baby boy, you know. All 5 of his children, Dave, Alvin, Yvonne, Nathaniel, aka WalterRoss, and me. We couldn't have possibly asked for a better father, because he did everything that fathers who had good vision, he did the same thing. In fact, he took better care of us being blind than a lot of fathers who had 20/20 vision. I got to tell it like it is. Dave Ross was an awesome father. And on that note, I just want to say happy Father's Day to you, Daddy. You don't know how much I miss you. All right. I want to point out another thing. Every man who impregnates a woman is not necessarily a father. Did you hear me? Well, maybe I need to repeat that to make sure it soaks in. I said every man who impregnates a woman is not necessarily a father. Now, on the contrary, there are men who are not biologically able to impregnate a woman, but they can be better fathers to their nephews and all of the other kids in the family than any of these other real fathers. So, and by the same token, you've got some mamas out here who are raising families as single moms, and they are doing a phenomenal job raising their kids. So on that note, you know what I want to say to them? Those mamas, I want to say happy Father's Day to y'all too. Just because you're a woman and just because you're the mother, don't think I'm going to shortchange you, because if you're doing what the father should have done who left years ago, we want to give you some props too. Happy Father's Day to the moms as well. I was looking at some Father's Day poems. There's one that says, he wasn't a hero known by the world, but a hero he was to his little girl. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, that is so beautiful. Fathers are so important. And I just want to say happy Father's Day to every father under the sound of my voice. Now, I've got a studio guest today. He's no stranger. And those of you who used to listen to me at that radio station, I'll tell you, it had a Y in the call letters. I don't have to call the call letters, but Lyle Henderson, my son, was on the air with me at that radio station. Oh my God, he was a very, very talented DJ. And one of the reasons that he was so talented as a DJ, it may make it sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but I always say, tell it like it is. If you got it, flaunt it. Tell it like it is. I trained him. Yes. When you see Lyle, he'll tell you himself, I am the one that trained him to be a DJ at that radio station in New Orleans with a Y in it. So not only was he a very, very talented DJ at that station, that was a radio station on the campus of Loyola University where Lyle was a student and where he got his degree from. But guess what? He was the program director of that radio station at Loyola University. Lyle is also a very, very talented gospel recorded artist. Oh, he has recorded so many songs. You go to church and Lyle Henderson is doing the music, you will not be sitting on the pew very long. Lyle knows how to get those folks up off of that pew. Get on your feet and jam for Jesus. Lyle is also one of the talented music artists at the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. He's in the gospel tent every year. Those of you who go to the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, and particularly those of you who go to the gospel tent, when you go in the gospel tent, you will see Lyle Henderson and Emmanuel. Oh my God, you're talking about a guy that can rock that gospel tent. He can rock it. So as you can see, Lyle and I, we've been kind of crossing each other's paths for the longest. We worked at that radio station together with the Y in it. We both work at the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. Only difference, I'm not a singer. I'm a DJ. I'm a radio announcer, an MC. So I get paid to MC. And in fact, one year I was the MC when Lyle was performing. You know what I did? I said, boy, it gives me pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, it gives me pleasure to introduce this next artist, a young man that I've been knowing all of his life. And he's one of the best gospel singers in the city of New Orleans. And let's bring him on right now. I say, yeah, here's Lyle Henderson. Lyle comes up on the stage and have that gospel tent rocking. I say, go Lyle, oh, go Lyle. Oh, boom, bop, boom, bop. Get up off those seats, y'all. Yes, indeed. Well, Lyle is my guest, and we're going to call it a father and son. And before I bring him on, I want to play a song from one of his albums. And the song is entitled Expectations. And I want you to listen up and enjoy Expectation from my son, Lyle Henderson. Come on, Lyle. Bring it on for your daddy.
When I think of my days and the way he's made, it eludes me. When I pray for new strength in this fight, his power improves me. You know his ways are not like our ways, and his wisdom increases our days. So Lord, I believe and know you exceed my expectations. You carried the cross for my sins when my heart wasn't near. You know I'm safe in your arms, and I have a clear view. All the love you've given to me, I will share, that men might be free. When I was running from you, I found your love exceeds my expectations. You cross for my sins when my heart wasn't. Now I'm safe in your arms, and I have of all the love you've given to me. I will share that men might be free. When I was running from you, I found your love to exceed my expectation. More than we could ask or think. Your love is a well where my soul can drink. Now I'm grateful to know that your love exceeds my expectations. Your love exceeds me. Your grace pursues me. Your light reminds me of who I am. Your love exceeds me. Your grace pursues me. Your life reminds me of who I am. Your faithfulness exceeds me. Your long suffering pursues me. Your blood reminds me of who I am. I didn't expect it, exceeds me, but it was waiting for me. Pursues me. He gave me strength, reminds me. He gave me courage. I am. He let me go there and fulfill my purpose, fulfill my destiny. Yeah, and then he gave me his blood, and it reminded me that I was supposed to live and not die, but tell of the goodness, tell of his mercy, tell of his love.
Sing your song, sing your song, sing your song. That's Lyle Henderson, y'all. Oh my God. What a very, very talented gospel singer from New Orleans. And I am so proud to call him my son. Thank you, Lyle, for gracing the airwaves of our podcast with your song entitled Expectations. And without any further ado, let's bring on Lyle Henderson right now. Hello, son. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to be here. It's good to be here with you. I'm so thankful. Happy Father's Day, sir.
Thank you very much. And I want to say happy Father's Day to you as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
It's know what, and that in case somebody didn't notice, that video also entailed two very special it captured two very special moments for me. It told a story. If you look, it told a visual story of Walter training me in the studio,
right.
Number one.
Yes.
And number two, the other very special moment is that I'm glad that I was led to have Edward West to appear in the video, even though he produced the video and he was against being a part of the video. I convinced him, since he was not only the producer, but he was also an artist that I have had the chance to interview many times with his group and with several things that he's been a part of.
Yes.
I convinced him to be a part of the video on the other side of the camera. And I'm so glad that I did, because in March 2020, during that memorable, catastrophic pandemic that we were all a part of, he succumbed to that virus and he passed away. So he's no longer with us. So it's two very special moments that were captured in that video for me.
Okay, and since you was paying homage to folks who were involved in that video, let me pay homage to you, because it was your idea for me to drive from Houston, Texas,
all the way.
Oh, and you know what? It wasn't as bad then, because gas was only $1.95 a gallon. But if like gas being $5 a gallon now,
right?
If you were doing this video now and asked me, hey Walter, jump in the car and head on over here to take part in this video, I would say with gas at $5 a gallon, you got to be out your mind.
well, you know what? It's funny that you say that, because I took a picture of the price of gas at the pump. I went to one of the bulk membership retail outlets, and I figured I could get cheaper gas there. Well, I want to let you know, on the West Coast, I took a picture, and at that point, it was a couple of months ago, gas was $4.99.
Oh my God!
Wait, that was a couple of months ago. It's
okay.
Much higher now. It's over $6 now.
Oh wow!
It was $4.99. I took a picture to send to my dad and to some of my friends, and they said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. That really hurts." I said, "Are you kidding me? At the rate that gas has been for us on the West Coast, we were running to the pump to get $4.99 because it had been $5.79."
Oh yes.
And now it's actually I think the last time I went, it was $6.19.
Yeah, but I didn't want to regress to the point of doing the gas story. That's another story in itself.
Right.
But I just want to thank you for inviting me to participate in your expectation video. I enjoyed it. I absolutely enjoyed it, and I must say, you're making history again, because you are the first. Not only did you teach me how to use a computer, you that's another story.
Your classmate Moses the Deliverer was proud.
But you are the first person to get me to get involved in a music video. So when you talk about all your firsts, you got to make sure you include that. You can say, I'm the first one to teach WalterRoss how to use a computer.
Absolutely.
I'm the first one to get WalterRoss in a music video. Yeah.
I'm also the first one to make him repurpose an umbrella.
That's another story. We're gonna have to save that one for.
Oh, we have a lot of stories.
A lot of stories. And before we get to Father's Day, I just want to mention this. There's an old African proverb. It takes a village to raise a child.
Absolutely.
And the area of New Orleans where I grew up, it was a very aristocratic area in uptown New Orleans, known as Chateau Calliope.
Okay.
All right. The Calliope Project.
Right.
That's where I grew up.
The Calliope Project.
The Calliope, absolutely. And in that was a community, that was a well-knitted community. And every adult in the Calliope Project had the liberty to chastise any kid that was misbehaving.
Absolutely.
It did not necessarily have to be his own kid. You take like Mr. Ross Vaughn, who lived on Johnson Street. He had 12 children. And when he'd whip his children, he'd whip us too. Yeah, because if we were out there doing wrong, misbehaving, any adult can whip your butt. And when you come home and tell your mama or your daddy that you got your butt whipped by one of the neighbors, you know what they're going to say? Well, you must have, Mr. Vaughn is not going to whip you for nothing.
For no reason.
You must have done something for Mr. Vaughn. And then you get another whipping when you get home.
Right.
And back during those days, we didn't need metal detectors in the schools because we had prayer in the schools. Somebody hold my mule now. We had prayers in the school.
Yes, sir.
They took prayers out of the school and had to replace them with metal detectors. My, what a world. And I want to say to Mr. Ross Vaughn, who's no longer in the land of the living, who used to whip us like crazy right along with his kids.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Ross Vaughn, for those whippings. I want to say to my dad, who also is not in the land of the living, thank you, Dad, for those whippings. Those whippings paid off. They had some significant benefits, and I'm benefiting from it right now. And one other thing before we get to my father and son chat with Lyle, I want to say happy heavenly birthday to Shelley's grandmother, Sister Lula Mae Peterson.
Wow.
She was a gospel singer in the New Orleans area over on the West Bank. Everybody on the West Bank knew about Sister Lula Mae Peterson. That was Shelley's. Well, as you know, Shelley is the executive producer of Let's Bring It On Gospel, and Lula Peterson was Shelley's grandmother. And today is Lula Peterson's birthday. And we want to say happy heavenly birthday to Lula Peterson.
Happy birthday to
you. Go ahead, hit it loud.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
All right. Well, you said that.
Nobody can put that real emphasis on the H on happy birthday like Sally Ann Roberts, though. Happy birthday.
Yeah, Sally, that's one of my Facebook friends.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Loud. Okay. This is Father's Day. And as I said at the outset of this discussion, every man who impregnates a woman is not necessarily a father. A real father hurts when you hurt. A real father will go out his way to make sure you got what you need. A real father, I mean, if he's got to work 2 or 3 jobs, he will do it and won't ever complain if that's what it's going to take to keep his family together.
Right.
There are lots of fathers under the sound of my voice right now who fit those descriptions. And I want to say to them right now, keep on doing what you're doing, brother, because God is smiling on you. And the world always needs good, loving, dedicated, compassionate fathers. Now, Lyle, I'm not Lyle's biological father. His biological father is Leslie Henderson, a young man that I know very well. And Lyle can join in on this as well. Leslie Henderson is a great father. In fact, let you tell the Jamming for Jesus audience about Leslie Henderson. Lyle, take it away.
You know, there's one particular thing that that I really, as a recent memory, I really want to say that I appreciate, especially at this stage in my life and having my dad still here. My father, at one point in my career, actually served as my road manager. Okay. And I was blessed to have taken him out of retirement this year. And he traveled around with me during the Jazz Fest this year. This was our 22nd year at the festival, and several other engagements that I had throughout that week of Mother's Day and Jazz Fest and so forth. And it was good to be able to do that. Just just to be able to see a father that has a certain amount of pride in the fact that he wants this young man that that he's responsible for and accountable to be able to be a good contribution to society. And I think that's one of the greatest joys in a father's life, is to be able to say, this child that I was imparting into, talking to, telling them how to be a man, telling them how to have chivalry, and tell them how to be a provider, and tell them how to be able to give wisdom to other young men, like I heard you talking in the beginning of the show, in your intro statements. That to me is the epitome of the joy of a father, and that's the type of fathers that we celebrate. And certainly that's the type of father that I celebrate, because he tells me how, he's proud of me. And, I remember, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but, every man wants to still be looked at to his son as a strong, towering figure, and, as we get older, there are certain things that we can't do anymore. And I remember my dad was trying to lift something, and he was having a little issue with it, and he started feeling a little bad about it. And he said, well, I can't lift things the way I used to, and I can't do this. And he was kind of making excuses. It was one of my visits home. And I told him, I said, Dad, one thing, you may not be able to lift this, but you're one of the strongest men that I know.
All right.
And that is the thing that I celebrate today.
Yes.
Being able to be surrounded not only by my father, who has continued to be an example of a strong man, but I'm thankful that God gave me men even in my professional career, like you, calling you dad, and you adopted me in the very early parts of my career. So, just being able to mentor someone. And I feel that is the void that we miss in a lot of families, like you were talking about, a lot of hit and misses without the father there, is that the young men and the young women don't have the example of what it looks like to have a strong man leading the way. And so even on their jobs and in their careers, when they get into industry, they don't recognize what that looks like, to be able to gravitate to wisdom, and to be able to accept criticism from somebody who wants better from them. They take it as an attack instead of as a nurturing, or as a moment of love. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well said. That was well said. And Lyle, I just want you to know, I appreciate you taking some time out of your extremely busy schedule to share with. Oh, you like that, huh? Schedule.
Well,
I know you got.
In a few months, I'm actually planning to be in the UK for the very first time in my life. And I want to be able to ask somebody over there to say schedule. And I'm a video it and send you the clip here.
Okay. Well, as I was saying, I appreciate you taking time out of your extremely busy schedule to share with us at Let's Bring It On Gospel. Let's Bring It On Gospel is bringing it on. Yes. Oh, yes. We are bringing it on.
And congratulations to you for launching something else. You are the epitome of how to reinvent, and you're a great example for all of us.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And before we conclude this section, I want my subscribers to know that we have 2 podcasts. Okay.
Yes, sir. 2. I like that consonant cluster you use.
Yeah, that 2 podcasts. Well, I don't profess to be an elocutionist.
Not an elocutionist.
But I got to tell it like it is, you know. All right. The second podcast is Lyle's podcast. The title of it is The Pastor and the Prince. Now, before you get out of here, tell our Jamming for Jesus audience a little something about the Pastor and the Prince podcast.
That's right. Well, we our podcast airs on the website called podcast.yahogo.org, and I did not mispronounce that. It is pronounced Yahogo, 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 Yahogo.org. But we release those. We were releasing those weekly, starting at the beginning of the year in 2022. We wanted to be able to produce something that presented both sides of us. A lot of times, I heard the saying that sometimes we're so heavenly minded with no earthly good. Yes. And Solomon in the Bible actually says that a false balance is an abomination to God.
Oh, did he say that? Oh, where's my Bible? Let
There's
me
a
break
scripture.
out.
That's right.
That's
That's
keep
right.
Up with you.
Look it up while I'm talking.
Just kidding.
And so the thing is that there's a lot of things that God wants for us. Right. But one of those things, as one of the disciples even mentioned in the New Testament, he said that in addition to our soul prospering, he wants us to prosper and be in health. So the thing is that a lot of times we're so one-sided that we miss out on the joys that God has designed for us in this natural life. Well said. And so with that balance, it's okay to laugh. It's okay to look at certain topics from a spiritual standpoint and also from a natural standpoint. And so we try to present every topic in those realms. If you'd like to see some of the episodes from the first season, we concluded the first season and we uploaded the audio content on both of our YouTube channels. So you can go to Lyle E. Henderson on YouTube and be able to look for the Pastor and the Prince podcast, and you'll be able to find that. And pretty soon we'll be launching season 2, so look out for that. All right. Yes. I'm looking. We're taking a little break right now.
Yes. And just like you became a guest on Let's Bring It On Gospel.
Yes.
Hopefully you and the pastor might consider inviting me on the Pastor and the Prince as a guest.
Consider it considered. Have your people call my people.
I will have my people to call your people, and make sure your people answer when my people call them.
Namely my sister Shelly.
That's your sister Shelly. Yeah, you know what I call her. I call her Shelly Boo. I've been calling her Shelly Boo since she was a little baby. But y'all cannot call Shelly Boo. That's for me. Y'all have to call her Ms. Silver.
Well,
Ms. Ross Silver.
Shelly Ross Silver. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
For it's a job of a producer to work behind scenes.
That's right.
And do things to prepare for us to just talk in front of the microphone.
That's right. Absolutely.
You were always you so graciously accepted the title of dad for me professionally. I also had a big brother, Alan Lee.
Alan Lee, absolutely.
Alan Lee, there are two big brothers, AlanLee and Carl Shagwa.
Carl Shagwa, yes, he was our promotions director.
Yeah, the two of them taught me what I know about marketing and promotions. And I'm thankful to them as well, and I'm thankful for Walter for teaching me what I needed to know about no dead air. Yes.
Okay. Now I'm gonna close with this.
Okay.
A lot of folks want to know how did the name Jamming for Jesus come
Mhm.
about?
Mhm.
And I played some song, and it was so uplifting. When I opened the mic and talked about it, I said, boy, that was a jam. We are jamming for Jesus. And then when I went on the air that Monday morning, the first thing out my mouth, hey, this is WalterRoss,
And
and I'm jamming for Jesus. And I wore it out, and that's just.
But you know what? That's also a testament to how in every industry, in every part of our lives, there are people who are passionate about certain things because
Right.
they can only go as far as they have learned,
Right.
and they can only go as far as their passion can take them. But there's always another set of people.
Oh,
and
yes.
I'm speaking to the younger generation that's watching
Right.
or listening to your podcast now.
Right.
Is that there is always something, where we say, oh, that's wrong, that's inappropriate to say. You
Mhm.
come along and you may do things a little different, and it is so refreshing to people who are listening that there's a whole nother audience that says, I love that.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that person's time in their creativity has already expired.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Lyle, words are not adequate to express to you how delighted I am to have you on my show, my son on my show.
I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, yes. And
yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Let's put it this way. If anyone wanted to write a movie.
If anyone.
Come on, sing it.
Should ever write
my life story. Remember, now there's the difference. You're the singer. I'm a DJ.
Right.
Yeah, but there's a lot. You have done a lot in my life. I mean, not only giving me my first computer training and so many other things. I'm just happy to have you on my show. It's been a great show. I enjoyed it immensely. I appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to be with us.
Thank you so much. One more shout out to a person behind the scenes. Thank you to Foxy Sandra.
Oh yeah.
She served as prop lighting and everything else to get us ready for this show, and I appreciate it.
Well, that's not only my wife of 32 years, my best friend, my road dog. She's all of that.
That's quite an accomplishment. There's some people who can't stay together for 32 minutes.
I give you a well on that. Well, all right. You take care.
Thank you so much. All right.
All right.
We enjoyed. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, and happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you so much, Dad.
WalterRoss, jamming for Jesus. WalterRoss, jamming for Jesus. WalterRoss, jamming for Jesus.